Cordelius is the newest brawler coming into this Brawl Stars update, and in this video I'm going to pit him 1v1 versus every other brawler in Brawl Stars to find out how he compares, as well as tell you all about him, and we're going to find out how to play him and counter him. Cordelius is the chromatic brawler for the brand new season in Brawl Stars, the Enchanted Woods, and you're going to find him on the Premium Brawl Pass at tier 30, so if you want to guarantee getting him this season, you're going to need to buy that pass, and if you do end up buying it, I would appreciate it if you used code LEX. In fact, even better, use code LEX in the Supercell store and you're going to get 10% extra gems for free, and you're still able to use my creator code. Cordelius is a short-range brawler with low health at only 4,800 hit points, and he has a very fast movement speed. He fires 2 mushrooms with each shot. Now, these mushrooms each deal 1,090 damage, unless you pick up his first star power, which increases the damage of the second mushroom when it hits the same target by 30%. Now, his second star power directly ties with his super, and that super is something that is entirely new to Brawl Stars. When he uses his super, if he lands it on an enemy, both him and his opponent are transported to a shadow dimension. Now, while in this dimension, it essentially acts like a duel. Now, it's not a fair duel, as Cord gets a 30% reload speed buff as well as an extra 20% movement speed increase. Now, this duel will last for 8 seconds, however, it can be extended if Cord cycles another super. This will end when one of the players dies or time expires. Now, while in this realm, you cannot see nor interact with the other players in the normal realm. If you have your second star power equipped, Cord will spawn mushrooms, and they will either heal or damage for 1,090 depending on who picks them up. Now, I'll be using Cord's first star power for these tests, just like I use my Samsung S23 Ultra. The all-new Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra is here, and better than ever. The all-new hardware and features in this phone will bring your gaming experience to the next level. It has a Snapdragon Gen 2 chipset that has been optimized specifically for the Galaxy to bring you the smoothest and fastest gaming experience. But all the performance in the world means nothing if the battery can't stand long sessions. Enter a massive 5,000 milliamp hour battery so you can game all day without searching for a charger. And speaking of long gaming sessions, the new Galaxy S23 Ultra has a new cooling system that is 40% more efficient than the S22 with its brand new vapor chamber cooling system, meaning that you can play for hours without feeling like you're holding a curling iron in your hand. The 6.8-inch edge-to-edge screen is beautiful and equipped with an adaptive vision booster, meaning it will change to your environment and reduce strain on your eyes. And with other features like more memory and a built-in S Pen, the S23 Ultra isn't just a gaming device that works as a phone. It's an amazing phone first and foremost, and it also happens to be incredible at gaming. Click the link in the description to check it out for yourself, and big thanks to Samsung for sponsoring not only this video, but also this channel. Now, Cord himself is classified as an assassin, but I find that classification a bit strange. With his very short range, he's gonna need to surprise other brawlers, but that doesn't really happen. Leon puts out more damage and can catch others off guard. Stu has just as much damage, but he has a greater range and greater mobility. Edgar can leap in and put out more damage while healing himself, and Buzz has superior strength, mobility, and utility with his stun. Crow, however, is totally different though, as we see him getting beat, and perhaps this is maybe the point. Maybe Cord is just a different type of assassin that we need to figure out. He does, however, have some tricks up his sleeve when facing the other assassins by way of both of his gadgets. Now, his first gadget, when activated, will make his next shot fire a single mushroom that silences enemies, kind of like Otis, but it doesn't last as long. This can be very helpful if an Edgar jumps on you or if a Sam is charging you down. And if you think that you're not fast enough to react to that, you can always use the second gadget. With this gadget, he's able to jump over walls and get away, or he can use that gadget to jump in and attack a thrower behind a wall. And speaking of throwers, let's see how bad Cord destroys them. Now, as you would expect in these 1v1 interactions against throwers, they get absolutely dunked on. Cord has a very respectable amount of damage, and throwers, they don't have much hit points or shot speed. Tick shots never even land, as normal, and even with the extra hit points, Grom finds out it's just not enough. Penny, however, does make it a close match. That being said, in a normal game, the throwers really shouldn't do that bad. Now, Cord does have a gadget where he can jump over walls and assassinate them really quick, but that's only if he has that one equipped, and it's only 3 times per match. he's going to get outranged by the throwers by a lot, and it doesn't take too many hits on Cord to make him fall back. Now, Cord's super can shoot through walls, so throwers aren't like totally safe there, but even if they do get taken into the Shadow Realm, then what? It's just going to be more of the same. Cord's going to have a tough time beating them, getting around the walls, or getting to them at all. Overall, I'd still give the advantage to throwers here because they don't like to get up close and personal. But there are a group of brawlers who do, and that's the tanks. Now, you might think that this is an unfair matchup as Cord has so few hit points, but this is a situation you're going to find yourself in pretty often as Cord. He needs to get close to deal any damage at all, and tanks thrive in that situation. That being said, as you can see, Cord does hold his own against some of these brawlers like BB and Rosa. Now, both here are actually pretty close matches, and he does well against Hank, and he's almost able to take out Meg as well, but just runs out of shots at the end. But that's about as good as it's going to get for Cord here, because every other brawler just slaps him around like a rag doll. It only takes 2 shots from Bull, and the same goes for Daryl. Jackie makes him feel the counter crush pain, and Ash, he gets the job done even starting with 0 rage. Now, in a game, I think that this is a pretty decent representation. Cord, however, does have some tools to deal with these tanks. He's got the speed advantage, so while he can't stand toe-to-toe, he'll have to try and stay just out of their range. That being said, even chip damage from some of these shotgunners is going to hurt enough to make you want to retreat. His silence gadget is going to come in very handy against tanks, especially like if you meet them in the bush. Well, at least 3 times a match it's going to come in handy. If not, well, yeah, you're in for some pain. However, Cord knows how to dish out the pain as well, as we're going to see in our next matchup. Now, the Marksmen are the longest range brawler in Brawl Stars. However, Cord has a really short range, so there isn't like a great way to do these matchups. As you see here, Cord has entirely way too much damage for these brawlers to stand close to. These brawlers are meant to keep an opponent at max distance and take them out. That being said, Maisie comes really close to doing that as she flexes that newly buffed unload speed. Nani, however, for sure has the power to match, as we see an insanely close matchup. Brawler after brawler goes down to Cord mushrooms, but let's get some perspective. In a real game, these brawlers are going to do everything in their power to keep Cord at max range. If B hits a charged shot on you, that takes away 60% of your health in 1 shot. Piper at max range can 2-tap you, and Maisie has plenty of utility to keep you at bay. If you can get close, you're going to destroy them. But getting close isn't going to be real easy. The damage dealers are a very diverse group of brawlers to go against. You've got some, like Shelly, who with Band-Aid helping her dominates almost anyone up close, and then there's ones like Colette, who can't finish the job without a super. Chester, however, has no problem finishing the job when he cycles his shot. RT can't unload his shots fast enough despite the great damage, and Nita goes down in a close one. 8-Bit has damage for days, which is more than enough to deal with Cord, but Carl, he can't get back his weapons fast enough. Spike deals more damage than Cord, but doesn't have the hit points, and Colt and Cord are almost dead even in many ways. The other brawlers, however, don't fare very well when they find themselves this close to Cord, though. And while most of these are close fights, Cord's kind of got the upper hand here. Now, in a game, I don't think it's going to be as easy for Cord. Once again, he gets outranged by all of these brawlers, and it's a similar story where he has to work his way in close to even have a chance at dealing damage, and while he's going to have some good targets here to use his super on, he's still going to have to play it kind of safe in the Shadow Realm, because just a couple shots from any of these brawlers and he's in trouble. Now, the next group of brawlers are not ones that can carry a team on their own, and really, Cordelius isn't that brawler either. He does, however, have enough to outdamage almost all of these brawlers. Gus just lacks that raw damage, and Byron with his trickle damage can't burst down anyone in time, although Ruffs does pretty well with that fast unload speed. Max puts up a bit of a fight, and Pam, of course, can beat pretty much anyone who wants to stay that close to her. Now, in a game scenario, I think that this is a pretty fair matchup. Now, I know that sounds strange to say, especially when we're comparing an assassin with some of the lowest damage output brawlers in the game, but they have almost double the range that Cord does. If they can hit just some of their shots, it's going to be pretty easy to keep him back. However, miss some of them or let him get into position, and yeah, you're going to be looking over your shoulder the entire match. Now, another interesting aspect is that these brawlers are often gem carriers, and they're going to be a prime target for Cord and his super. Now, once in that realm, he still may have a hard time getting to them, but just taking them out of the normal realm was going to be a big hindrance for the enemies. Now, our last group to face off against Cordelius are the controllers. Now, all of these brawlers love to control the field in one way or another, but they're all quite different at the same time. Most of them do have one thing in common, though. They get stomped by Cordelius. Willow leaves the match heartbroken, and Otis, well, he makes it close, but Squeak, he's still waiting for that last shot to go off. Sandy's Sandstorm is more like a Dust Devil, and Jesse made it interesting, but came up just short. Mr. P wins, but only if he gets both suitcases to hit on the way in and out, and Bo and Cordelius are almost at a dead tie. Gale shows that senior citizens, they can still get the job done. And finally, Amber's Stream of Fire is no match for Cordelius and his Toxic Mushroom. In a real game, this one's pretty fair. There will be times that you're going to be on the winning side here, and times where it's not going to go as good, but for the most part, this one's pretty even. So then, you've seen Cordelius 1v1 versus every brawler in Brawl Stars, which leaves us with one question. How good is Cordelius going to be? On one hand, I love his abilities. His super is something new and awesome, and his gadgets are extremely useful. His character is just downright sinister, and overall, he's really neat. But that being said, I think he's going to be a tough one to play. His hit points are really low, and it's going to be tough for him to actually get in range to deal any damage. Now, if you can, then it's game on, but I don't think that that's going to be very easy. I do think that he's going to be pretty decent in modes like Gym Grab or some Brawl Ball maps where he can work his way up using cover or ones with lots of bushes. He is, however, going to struggle in modes like Bounty where he just gets absolutely outclassed. Solo Showdown is going to be tough for him as well because while yes, he can open boxes fast and he can be deadly coming out of the bushes, his range and his hit points are just major liabilities. Overall, I wouldn't be surprised to see him get a range or a hit point buff, but as he stands right now, I think I'd give him like a 6.5 or a 7 out of 10. He's not bad, but he's not like really great either. That being said, I still plan on getting him on my free-to-play account because I, one, think he's going to get some buffs, and two, I think he's going to be a really fun brawler to play. But what do you think about Cordelius? Let me know in the comments down below, and come back very soon for a very swaggy 1v1 with Doug. Teach me how to Dougie. Can you teach me how to Dougie? Dougie, Dougie, Dougie. Where's the stop recording button?